morning, and welcome to the Psychic Coffee Shop. I'm Mason Knight, and with me tonight is the lovely Miss Range. How are you, darling?
I'm awesome. I'm just sitting here dancing before I can't dance anymore for a little bit.
Well, that's all right, honey. You'll be able to dance. They're not working on your hip.
I have learned to dance with one hand. It's very interesting.
Oh, I know. Well, a lot of people dance with one hand and whatnot. But, that's going to be all fixed and good. And, while you're in there, you're going to get a shoulder lift and, a tummy tuck. And, I'd book them in for a few other things while you're there.
I'm not getting a tummy tuck.
Why not? You may as well get the full lube and glue while you're there.
That's true. This is true.
Maximize that visitation time. As I say, if something's sagging, bagging, or dragging, get it nipped, clipped, or tucked.
Well, I'm not going to let him touch my face.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm awesome.
Good.
Glad to be here.
Well, of course, honey. I'm always glad when you can come in. You can meet me for coffee, and we can really talk about something. There's been a lot of yapping going on, Miss Teacher of the Year, here lately, especially over on our dear land of Twitter. Apparently, some of your cohort, your colleagues, needs to go back to school, preferably the second grade of history. It's been making a lot of news media. And it's really annoying, because our country is going on 200, 300 years. We have a very strong history. All of it isn't pretty like roses. Hate to say it.
But it is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. And one of the things, and having been a history teacher, government teacher, political science teacher, I know that the things that they write in the history books aren't always factual. A lot of things that you do get in history books are really according to, in my viewpoint, what the government wants us to know or wants our children to know. And that's why I think it's really important for people when they do go to look for information, historical facts, look outside the box. Don't just look on the internet. Don't just read history books. They're valuable, but look and see what else is out there. Sometimes even going to local, museums, local, going and getting local historical information, from different states or even counties within your area can give you so much information. And the reason why Ace and I bring this up is because, with respect to the First Lady's speech the other night, she was talking about, being in the White House that was built by slaves. And, of course, this is probably something that a lot of us didn't think about, And, the reality is yes, that White House was in part built by slaves. They did have contracts, with people who brought in their slaves. And they also later on brought in other workers who worked along with the slaves. Having said this, I say this because this is historical fact. This is not, we can't change the past. We can learn from the past, okay? This is our reality. And, I'm always one of those who, for those who did participate in, that, and I'm talking about the workers themselves, and their families. That's something to be proud of, as far as them having participated in it. Yes, it was under the demise of slavery, which, that I don't think there's any one of us who, believes in that at this point in time, but it was a mindset of the country at the time period.
Not only the country, but the world.
Right.
Because if we look at it, every culture from the beginning of pre-time to, even still some today, because unfortunately there is slavery still alive and well and functioning in some parts of this world. Right. Have been enslaved.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
And it's always, I'm a history buff. I study a lot of history, a lot of historical timing. And to be quite honest, I've always had this opinion: if we do not pay attention and teach the history that has occurred, we will repeat it. We will relive it again. I'm sorry, I am not PQ on a lot of stuff. Okay? If a person is a nut, I'm going to call them a nut. If a person, we can't go back and finally cover things up and go, oh, it was built, and just wipe out this thing that now is politically incorrect to talk about, to say. And no, I'm not African American. I'm Romney. And guess what? Yeah, we were enslaved and brought to America and used in slavery. Was my Pacific tribe? No. But, everybody was. And here's the whole thing. When we start fluffing it up and painting this big southern or this big northern rosy picture of the time, we're disservicing their sacrifices that the ancestors did.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah, you're right.
I'd be on a warpath about
sacrifices. Yeah.
Right.
And the truth of the matter is there is so much in our history. That's why I always say, look outside the box when you're going and doing your research, because there's so much out there that we don't know. I am fascinated by watching shows, although I know you're not going to always get factual information on TV. But I'm fascinated on the research. I'm fascinated with going to the places of origin and finding out, especially on that personal level when it comes to small towns, finding out about water rights and ranching rights. That was something, really very, very, and still is controversial in the state of California, which is originally where I'm from, and there's so many stories back there that we don't know about. We don't
or
know
indentured
about.
servantry. I mean, indentured servantry was a way to enslave the Slavic. It was a way to enslave the Irish. It was a way to enslave anybody that they could get, because the deal was, well, if I pay for you to come to this country, you're going to work that off until I determine that you've worked it off. It could be 7 years. It could be 70 years.
Right, exactly. And so
and that's barely taught anymore. Everyone thinks that, our ancestors got on a boat and, they were all, able to afford to trip across the sea. No, because the trip across the sea was quite more than what they even could have made during that time, because, ship captains get greedy. So it's bullshit to try to, negate history. That's like trying to debate, who owned the car before you did. And, I'm really, really scared in general that we have senators and congressmen and other people that didn't pass, what would you say, second grade history, third grade history when we cover the Civil War?
Well, if you notice when you listen to people talk, you could ask, 5 different people, who the president was, or who was the president who fought to free the slaves. Okay, some people might not know that was Lincoln. But you'd be surprised how many people do not know a lot of the history, or even who our first president was, or, people really don't know the history. And I think that's a failure of our education system. And I say that, and, I was proud to be part of the education system, but things get lost in the water. It gets watered down, and other things become a priority. We have to know our history. Besides that, at least for someone like you and I, it's really exciting. It's exciting.
It's exciting to see what that lifetime was. It's exciting to see what, occurred and what was considered common practice then, whereas today it's common practice and not taboo, i.e. having a bathroom in your house.
Right.
That is common practice today.
Yeah.
150 years ago, it was filthy. Um, in Ireland, it was considered unhealthy to have hot water. My God, if you don't have hot water today, you're living in the slums.
Oh yeah, and I do remember being very small, although we had bathrooms. I do remember going to visit people, and they still had those old outhouses.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not that old.
Well, honey, no, you're not. And, that still occurs today. There are still people in this country that doesn't have indoor running plumbing. But, we forget that. We forget that the world wasn't always at our fingertips. And we couldn't download whatever book of Shakespeare that we wanted. It's like a lot of people think George Washington was the first continental president. No, he wasn't the first continental president. There was a person before him that was the president of the Continental Congress. And I want to say that gentleman was president. He wasn't, because that office wasn't even created then. A lot of people want to talk about Abigail Adams and how many White Houses there's been. There's technically been 4 different White Houses. Right.
I mean, I always just invite people, dig and dig deeper and dig outside of the box, because there's so much, and it's so interesting, and it is. And when you really think about it, look at technology is a really great place to really do research on, because technology, things that are everyday common things for us these days, were not so common back then. They were new. Can you imagine George Washington coming and seeing a cell phone? I couldn't imagine George Washington coming and seeing a rotary dial phone, 30, 40 years ago.
Please, honey, it would be witchcraft, and you'd be burnt at the stake.
Absolutely. There's a lot of things in our history. What a lot of people don't realize is back in the colonial days, women were not allowed to own property, and so when they're talking about witches, and when they used to burn witches to death and judge people for being witches, a lot of these people actually were women, sometimes men as well. So I have to include them too. But when the male family members died, the women were not allowed to own property. And so the government, I don't know if you really call it a government, because the government that we had at that point in time, they wanted that property. And so
they wanted the property, they wanted the tax money, they wanted, it could be, I kind of like Rainey's part of land over there, and her old man just died, and she won't marry me, so I'm just going to say she killed my cow.
Well, and this is where a lot of, and it does always come down to money and greed, doesn't it?
It does, but it also comes down to fear. It comes back down to fear.
Right. Well, a lot of these people were put to death because they wanted their property. Okay, it wasn't necessarily because they thought they were witches. You didn't have to do or say a whole lot back then that somebody would think you were a witch. And they just created this mindset here. And so, again, because I know we have other things to talk about tonight, it's just important to remember that there is a very, very in-depth history we've had there in the past, and a lot of what we know or what we're fed isn't necessarily factual, but also take the time. A lot of people don't take the time. They don't even think about it. How are you going to make an educated decision, about voting? How are you going to make an educated decision, about what choices to make, within your community if you don't necessarily know the history? I think that's very important. It's also important not to repeat things from the past. Look at the consequences of the past.
Look at the consequences. Look at the benefits, but look at the consequences of the past. It's very important to do. Now, we don't talk politics, but I'm going to say this. There have been, for since probably the beginning in 1763, people that have died for the right to vote. Get the hell off the couch, put on your heels, slap your lipstick on, and go vote. I don't care if it's for Mickey Mouse.
Right. Well, I always say I believe in voting. I mean, a lot of women actually died for the right to vote. A lot of women actually died in prison, died in jail for the right to vote. Okay, so people have given up their lives. I always say you have the right not to because you are a free American citizen. But from my perspective and my viewpoint is, people fought for this. Utilize that right. If you want to fill somebody's name in, fill somebody's name in. Okay, but still do it.
Right.
I'm never going to hold it against anybody who says they don't. That's their right not to. As for me, I consider it a privilege because I am an American citizen and I have that right, and because, there are a lot of people who made a lot of sacrifices for a very, very long time. And it is a privilege, I mean, think about people who were dying in jail for the right to vote. Pretty major.
It's very major.
And, it's also it's also very, very interesting. Again, I know we have to move on, but to look at the reasons why black men were given the right to vote, and they were, at the time considered to be half a person. But it benefited the men. They had their reason for it, so they got their right to vote, and that's why they got their right to vote before the women. The women didn't get the right to vote first, which is far. I mean, it's just a part of our history. It's a part of our history. It's a part of who we are.
And I just want to throw out here that really everybody didn't get the right to vote in the 1800s. Everyone didn't get the right to vote in the early 1900s. It was literally until 1968 that some people finally got the right to vote. There are people still alive today that haven't even retired yet that didn't get the right to vote till 68.
Wow, they haven't retired?
They haven't retired yet. I mean, come on. 68, if they were born in 64, they're still not retired
I guess you're
yet.
Right.
So,
You're right.
But, and it's those aha moments in our lives that kind of takes us by breath. What in the world? Oh, my goodness, really? I thought the world was this way, and we had this cookie in this box, and the cheesecake went to the left, and the potatoes went to the right. And it's not that way.
Yeah. Well, we get so accustomed with all those conveniences in our life. Those aha moments. I mean, aha moments, that goes a little bit broader, kind of moving away from one topic and on into another. Aha moments. I was looking at that earlier and I thought, okay, would you consider an aha moment a defining moment? A defining moment is a moment when you go, this thing happened here and I am forever changed and I'm going to change. An aha moment is like, oh, didn't plan on this, I get it. I guess I better change. There's a little bit of a difference there between the two. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there is. There's a major difference.
And I don't know about everyone, but I can clearly remember those different points throughout my life where I've had those defining moments, and they usually came from very challenging experiences or experiences where they were challenging, came through those experiences. I was a changed person. The aha moment kind of happen in the moment, where the defining moment is something really dramatic, and it doesn't even necessarily have to even be negative, happens, where you go, okay, and you literally change your way of thinking. The aha moment is a moment of understanding.
Right. A lot of understanding, a lot of self-realization.
Yeah. And you just never know when they're going to come. They can come simply by having a conversation with somebody or having a positive or negative interaction with somebody who you don't even know. Or you go, oh, whoa, is this how it works? I've had one or two of those.
Mm-hmm. So one or two of those of, oh, what?
And that always brings me to sometimes when we have those challenges in our life, we aren't always looking at them as, oh, God, this is really all that positive because they're challenges. And I know I'm going through that right now with my physical challenges. But I got a lot out of that. Like, wow, my kids are really there for me.
Right.
I don't know that I would have seen that had I not been going through that experience. Not that my children are bad. They're good human beings. They're grown adults. But, through something that was negative, it's like, this is really awesome to see they're there. That's a pretty cool thing. So, Asen, kind of what's your input on that?
Those aha moments for me are kind of like checking points.
Okay.
Okay. They're points when it's like, oh my goodness, what the world have I been working at? What the world have I been thinking for ages now?
Right.
Where do I belong? And here's examples of those that are on a broader spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
First pictures from Mars. Makes you really think about what's really going on there. When marriage became equality forever.
Yeah.
When you see, when you literally walk into spirit and spirit says, I don't know what the hell you're doing here, but we're going to be reversing you to another place.
Wow. Aha moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is something that came through a conversation you and I had a couple of days ago. We do that occasionally, by the way, everybody. We sort of chit-chat with each other. When you're going along your path and you're thinking, okay, I know exactly where I'm going. I know exactly, where Spirit is telling me where I'm supposed to go. I know the plan. I understand the plan. I'm on the right track. And all of a sudden, boom, everything is taken away. And this great and wonderful plan you were on, you're going, what just happened here? I know I'm on the right path because, I'm intuitive. I'm listening to my intuition. I know I'm on the right path. What just happened here? Everything I planned because I was on the right path just went out the window. What happened here? And you kind of go, whoa. Okay, I can't necessarily predict everything just because it feels good, just because I believe I'm on the right path. Well, it doesn't mean that you're not necessarily on the wrong path. You're supposed to get on that path, and you go with it, and you're like, yeah, this is really great. Good example that I know a lot of people experience this is when they come into connection with someone that they love or a soulmate connection. You're like, oh, my God, I know this is it. I know this is right. And you are just like there. And then all of a sudden, nothing works out. That person's gone. Your whole life is turned upside down, and you're going, what happened? What happened? What the heck am I doing here? And you have to go back and not only accept that, and it's hard for your mind to accept that, but also to heal from it and go, what am I now? Where am I supposed to be? This can happen for somebody who just came out of a relationship, a long-term relationship, marriage, and I'm using relationships as an example because I know that that's probably what most of us can relate to, because I'm sure each one of us have been through that once or twice,
Or
and
12 times.
Yeah, it's like you're on the right path here. You know who you're supposed to be with, and then all of a sudden just everything just fell apart. And you're like, wait a minute, I moved, I did this, I'm doing all the right things. What happened? My life just got turned upside down. And you got to really go within and really do some self-evaluation. It's like, okay, this was all so good. How could I be so wrong? Well, it doesn't mean that you were necessarily wrong. You had to go through that to get to where you're at. Now, you got to really get to the real work. And the real work is about going in there and working on yourself. We don't always realize that until we have to go through an experience like that. Because really, what is it we have control over? The only thing we really have control over is ourselves and what we do and how we handle things. And that's a challenge. I'm grateful because that's something we have, as individuals, we have power over. At the same time, it's like, okay, life as I planned it isn't the way I thought it was going to be. Now what do I do with this? What do I do with this? Am I going to be alone to do it? This sucks eggs. And so, to me, when we were talking, that was kind of an aha moment for me through my own previous experiences. And I thought, yeah, your whole life kind of gets turned upside down. What do? That's where you got to go, what's going on? I better do some self-evaluation. Like you said, okay, not what I thought. Not what I thought.
Well, not only is it not what I thought, or, I've got my life in this position, and it's always going to be this way, and it's always going to work this way. And, we're going, what I hear all the time, we're soulmates, so we're going to be together forever. No, you're not.
Yeah. Sometimes you will, but sometimes you won't. And when you're in the midst of it, you don't know that, And, I mean, everything in you is alive and awakened. Those type of connections really open up that psychic energy with you. And you're like, man, I know what I know, what I know, what I know. And then all of a sudden what you know is gone, and you're going, what do I do with this one now?
Well, with that one, you tie them up and walk the hell away with a good rope.
Yeah. But then it comes down to, okay, we tie them up with a good rope. You got to walk away. Not so easy. But aside from that, where you really got to go is you really got to go to you.
Right.
Why was this relationship, or for that matter, other relationships, whether they're family dynamics or friends, what is it that I'm repeating in this lifetime that I need to look at, that I need to fix, so that I can have a better life, and so that I can move forward spiritually, and so that I can contribute on a higher level spiritually. Because really, ultimately, again, it comes down to we are spiritual beings having a physical experience. We're here to learn. And a soulmate connection is another person to help bring us there. Not necessarily that we're supposed to be with them, but they're to help bring us there. Yeah, right. Sometimes we get to be with the soulmate. Sometimes we get to be with another one. I don't want to negate that and say that isn't true, because it isn't true. It is. We do get to be with them, sometimes. But sometimes we don't. That's a tough one.
Well, and what we got to realize, and a lot of people don't like realizing this, but I'll throw it out there anyway, and it's been in my position for a very long time. There are more than one dang soulmate. Think about it.
Right.
If you're on your fifth or sixth life and you're hanging out with the same dude all the time, or gal all the time, you're not going to really have that much fun. What happens when you want to go down and play in Kenya, and she's like, nah, Kenya really doesn't look that fun. I think I'll stay up here this time. Does that mean you get to be a Spencer all your life? You know, you get to come and be a Spencer for one life? No. That means that you'll go down and you'll have a new soulmate. And then in the next life, gee, you'll have one and then the other. I mean, come on, think about it. My grandmother had 13 husbands.
Wow.
And I think that she kept having to go to funerals, honey. You know, the mines kept killing them off. You know, so you do get a number of soulmates in your life. You get a number of soulmates around you. You get a number of soulmates that come into being. And, you know, sometimes I want to go back to like 1987 when the soulmate fever was thought up in the advertising room and kick a few people.
Yeah.
But let's go to break, sweetie.
Oh, yes, and then we gotta talk to some people here tonight.
Yes, we said got to take some calls. You know, that's why they call in. All right, so we'll be right back after our break.
You'll find us at www.themagichappens.com, your free online magazine.
Are you at a crossroads in your life? Or are you feeling stuck and not sure where to turn? We can help. Visit our website at psychic.biz from your computer, smartphone, or tablet, where you can get accurate readings and insight by speaking with any one of our tested advisors. We offer live chat, video sessions, one-on-one phone calls, and even email readings. We have several gifted psychics, tarot readers, astrologers, and other healers from around the world who are available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Your initial chat is always free, and our psychics do offer special prices and low per-minute rates. Visit us today at psychic.biz and get the guidance you need today for your tomorrow.
You're listening to The Magic Happens Radio Network, sponsored by The Magic Happens magazine. You'll find us at www.themagichappens.com.
So I'm a cat, and I just moved in with this new human, and she's got this little toy she's always playing with, all day long. Tap, 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 bloop, bloop. She can't put it down. There it is. Oh, and get this. She even talks to it. Last week she asked it for Chinese, and guess what? Egg rolls showed up. Like magic. Humans have cool toys.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
Do you have burning questions you need answered? We all do. Visit our website at psychic.biz, where you can find accurate psychics, tarot readers, and astrologers from around the world who are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can have your questions answered anonymously and right from your computer, tablet, or smartphone. The introductory chat is always free, and we offer low per-minute rates and special promotions. Our online psychics offer helpful, practical guidance into what matters most to you. Visit us today at psychic.biz.
And you'll find us at www.themagichappens.com, your free online magazine.
Well, welcome back. We just came back from our lovely commercial break. And I just want to remind everybody of our sponsor, Psychic.biz, who do provide you guys some lovely deals and take care of us very, very well. The deal is, the coupon code is Spring16, and you get $5 off on any reading with any of us, not just psychic coffee shop readers, but any psychic on the site. Me and Rainey are over there at great prices, so you can get a few minutes with us for free. But because you are a listener to our shows, you can use the code COFFEE, COFFEE, and get $10 added to your minimum of $15 deposit. They'll give you $10 free. So that's like getting 5 free minutes with either one of us, because we are at $1.99 each right now. All
Absolutely.
Right. Now, Rainey, now explain how we do this.
Okay. Well, to make sure that legally you are of the age of 18, I got it right this week. And, here's how it works. We have so many people who are waiting in line who want to speak with us, and we just want to be able to get to everybody. So what we ask is that you give your name and your birth date, and, of course, name and birth date of anyone you're inquiring about. And then we ask for one question, okay, because we really want to get a chance to get to everybody because, everybody wants to, have their time. And so if you could be respectful of that, we would appreciate it. And, Asen, who do we have online first?
Well, our first caller in, because we do take and do them by the order they're called in, is 313.
313. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. Who we got?
Speaking with?
Hi, I have a question about my relationship or my marriage. I have, I have 1 foot in and 1 foot out here.
That happens. That happens a lot, hon. What's your birth date?
December 7, 83.
Okay.
What's your name?
My mate is May 21st, 82.
Okay. Rainey, you want this one?
Well, I need her name and her birth date, who she's inquiring about, and what's her question.
Okay. I'll take it because I heard the question and the name and birth date, hon.
Okay.
Okay. Hon, I really feel like you're just spinning around in circles. You're leaving. For at least a period of probably a month.
Well, actually, we're physically separated right now. He's in the military, and he's off in another country, and I'm here in the U.S. with the kids. So.
But I don't feel like you keep it, honey. I really feel like you move on to your next chapter. Okay?
Yeah. Okay.
And I feel you move also.
Yeah, a move will have to take place. I don't know. I guess it's not anything like, when you get married, you never, you want separation to be the very last thing. And,
right.
I love my husband, but I would love for us to stay together and to work things out, but I just don't know if I'm being naive, believing that it can happen, or,
I don't think that you're being naive, okay, that it can be. I feel like it can be worked out, but for me, when I look at it, it's like you take a month away from it before you do even look at fixing it.
Oh, so you're just saying take some time away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
That seems reasonable.
All right, darling. You have a good evening.
Thank you.
All right. Now we're going to move over to 520.
520. Welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, I'm here. Hello?
Yeah.
Hi.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm Lisa, and my birthday is 9/20/62.
Welcome, Lisa. What's your question this evening?
My question would be about my son.
Okay.
My son, do you want his birthday?
His name and birthday would be great.
His name is Conrad.
Uh-huh.
And he's 9/24/80.
Okay. What is your question about your son, hon?
Is he okay? Is he going to come out of this okay?
Okay, Conrad. How are you going to come out of this, Conrad? Yes, he is. Okay. This is still going to take a little bit of time. Okay, I see a lot of confusion around him, issues to be sorted through, looks to me, and I want you to be looking at this is not an overnight thing, okay? And it looks to me like you're going to be taking baby steps or he's going to be taking baby steps, but it is inclusive of you as well, with respect to just being his mother around the 6-month time period here. Okay, so it is going to take a little bit of time. Why do I keep getting the word abandonment around him? Does this relate to this at all?
Well, he may have thought that that not enough was being done for him. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Okay. And usually when I get a word like that, it tells me, okay, this may be an area where there's a core issue that he's struggling with, a little bit of insight for you, not because that you necessarily have abandoned him, but he may be going through those feelings which affect him and could be a useful tool of knowledge for you with respect to trying to help him and communicate with him. Okay?
Okay.
He will be okay. Like I said, I'm looking here. It's going to take a little bit of time, and you'll really start to see a turnaround, but it's going to be about 6 months.
Okay.
Okay. Doesn't mean you won't see things happening before then, but it's kind of like that's when you're really going to know, okay, we're doing okay here. Focus on that abandonment, because even if you don't necessarily understand it, it's real to him. It's real to him.
Okay. Does he feel that I abandoned him?
I'm not getting that specifically, in all honesty. In fact, to tell you the truth, I wasn't getting it from you. I felt like it was coming from another energy, and I did feel like this may be coming from a male energy, okay? But in his mind, okay, you have a young man here who has a very, very sensitive and tender heart, okay?
Yes, he does. He does.
Okay, yeah, and holds things in, okay? You've got this wonderful little puppy dog heart here, and you takes everything so personal, okay?
Yeah.
And the abandonment comes in. Like I said, this is an issue that you having knowledge, it can be a useful tool for you to help him. And with respect to that, okay, it's really about the mindset of, am I good enough? Am I understood? Okay, so go at it with respect to that. But he'll be okay. Okay?
All right.
Well, Lisa, thank you. You have a wonderful evening.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Moving on to 347.
Hi, Ethan. Hi, Rainy. Thank you for taking my call. Hi.
Hi.
This is Tanika. Date of birth is 9378.
Hi, Tanika.
And how can we help you?
Hi, just a question. I want to know if I should just not talk to anymore, just cut off someone by the name of Aris. His date of birth I'm not sure of. I just know that he's a Scorpio and he's born in 85, and his name is Aris. And he's like in and out. Last weekend he called me tried to make plans on FaceTime, and then he just, I can't tell. He just like backed out of the plans at the last minute, and it kind of annoyed me. I just want to know if this guy's a waste of time. I want to know if he's a waste of time and if I should just ignore him or if there's a future with him, you know, because I don't have time
I feel
for
there's
it.
a future. I feel there's a future with him, but you can't put any effort into it right now. I feel like you need to step back and just let him run in and out of the house, but not give it any attention. Like, oh, you called today? Great. Oh, it was nice talking to you 6 weeks ago. Until he gets more settled in his position there. Okay? So that you're able to get your stuff together and, you know, that way he can figure out what he wants, because I feel a lot of it is total indecision and total confusion.
And I feel like he's scared or guarded or something. And
very much so.
Oh, yes.
Very, very much so.
You know, and I can respect that. It's just, I am too, and I don't have time for somebody like that. Like, I have my own trials. I don't want to have to deal with a man that's afraid.
Right. And that's why you're not going to deal with him. You're just going to set him on the side there. Let him grow up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay? Okay. And I just would leave it. I think it's going to take probably about 2 months for him to get himself together and for you to get into a relaxed position.
Should I just let, the next time he calls or texts?
It's, you know, and treat it, no, I wouldn't ignore it. You know, we don't want to reward bad behavior by ignoring it and then letting him really see that. You know, but I would treat it as if, you know, he called you the day before. It's like, oh, how are you? That's nice. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Okay. Because then it's like, yeah, whatever.
Right. Right.
Okay. And I think that you're doing a lot better that way. And I feel like, you know, with that, he'll pick up the stick and take the run that he needs to take here. Okay, and I think it'll be really good for both of you. Okay?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Rini, was she going to say something? I thought I cut her off.
We're kind of switching off back and forth, honey.
Okay.
I'm trying to be respectful. I'm always just, you know, because I always like to come in there and butt in.
Yeah.
You know, kind-hearted person needs to sort through some of his stuff, okay? You're much better at communicating. It's something that he struggles with. And, you know, I agree with Asen. Pull back. Let him come in. Do you. Don't let him make you crazy, because he's just not a good communicator on a good day. Don't let him make you crazy there. There's still the opportunity for things to work out here, but just kind of pull back. Yeah, hey, how you doing? Don't get emotional about it.
Well, with him, what about Nick? Do you see, like, Nick entering back into my life?
Nick?
Yeah.
Okay. What's Nick's birthday?
6/11/83.
Nick. Is Nick coming back? Not yet. I don't see that coming up at this point in time. What about you, Asen?
I don't feel like he comes back. Not for a while, at least.
Okay.
Okay.
You have a blessed evening, my dear.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You have a good evening.
You too.
Okay, we got time for one more quick one. 216. 216, you're on the air.
Hello.
Hi. Who do we have?
Hi. My name's Sharon. Do you want my birthday?
Yes.
September 1st, 1965.
Okay, Sharon, and how can we help you?
Employment. What do you see with new opportunities coming for me?
I feel like you got a good bit of options, Sharon. So I do feel like new opportunities coming. Probably within the next week to next 2 weeks, you'll be getting a lot more inquiries and a lot more because you're going to go into hard work. I'd say within 3 weeks. Okay, you're going to work mode. Okay.
Do you feel me getting an offer like
yes.
in the near future? There's a
very near future.
I know there's a big difference. Okay, that's what I mean. There's a big difference between doing having the interview but getting the offer. You know what I'm saying? You understand?
Yes.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. She's cute. I like her.
I'm more honest. Well, my God, you guys, this has been a process for me. Let me tell you.
Mhm. And it's been a growth process for you too, which is what was needed.
That's a very smart answer. I understand what you mean, but no one has put it in quite that way.
Right. That's what this is all about. That's why it's so hard is you're growing into realizing that you're really qualified higher than you think.
Yeah, I'm trying to move into a different direction. That's what I'm doing. I've been in finance for 20 years, banking, finance. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to do something different. Same kind of skills, but in a different environment.
Right.
Yeah.
So you said things are going to pick up in the next couple weeks.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything
that's
else?
About right what I got too, because
you got
I was
that
getting
too?
I got somewhere around 12 days. I round that off to 2 weeks, and I did definitely see you in a place of transition. In between deciding on the past and deciding on the new. Kind of going in a different direction here. So this is actually a really good move for you, hon. Okay. And,
Thank you.
What you're going to see as you go through this process, although it may be a little scary at first, as you go through this process, really within a few months and on even into next year, you're going to be going, wow, my life is so different. But you need that.
Oh, my gosh. I know.
You need that emotionally. You need that emotionally, spiritually. You need that.
This isn't a desire, you guys. It's a need. There's a big difference.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. You have to go with it when you are being pushed. You have to go in that direction because all that's going to happen, it's going to be like a knot that just keeps getting tighter and tighter and tighter if you stay in the past, and you cannot do that.
All right, I get it. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You're welcome. You have a great evening.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Asen. I've spoken to you on your site too. Have a good evening, both of you. Yeah.
Bye, Dylan.
I'm probably one of your regulars. You guys have a nice evening. Okay.
You too.
That's probably a good possibility, honey.
She got a wonderful laugh.
She does, and she has really good energy. But here's the thing, and people probably don't realize this, but I really don't know my regulars. I don't keep track of my clients. I don't even keep track of the callers here, okay? Because I give you a fresh reading every time. I really do not even keep notes on anything. I know a lot of psychics, they write down every little prediction they made, and every little detail you tell them later. I ain't got time for that. That's like triple the work. My God's got the information. You're living your life. Why sit there and create a book about it,
Well, and the truth of the matter is, you need to kind of go out there and put out that information. I don't know about you, but I'm trying to give somebody information, and I'm going to be sitting there jotting down notes. No, I don't think so.
Right. And, after the phone hangs up, the reading's gone. I may have told you that you're going to become the next president of the United States. I won't remember it. So that's just how I work. Well, Miss Rainey, what are you doing this week?
Well,
you're prepping yapping and, planning a divisive attack, I'm quite sure.
Yes.
And I'm sure you're going to be tuning into me tomorrow night with Conversations with Asen. And then on Friday night, we have Radio Terror with Rouse, and she's on at 10. And then we don't have a Saturday show yet, but we have one coming. And then on Sunday, we'll have Divine Angel back with your Angel Whisperers. Rainey, it's looking like that the Angels are going to be stopping here at the coffee shop on the weekends. It really is. So that's going to be fun.
Oh, yes. Yes. We are just growing so much, and I am just so excited and pleased because, we have so many of our wonderful psychics who are, connecting and engaging with us and opening up the airwaves for, everyone pretty much every night at this point. We're just about there, giving you guys the opportunity to come in and connect and get to know us a little bit. And then, of course, you're always welcome to, contact us on psychic.biz and, talk to any one of our wonderful psychics for a reading. And just a lot of exciting things going on right now.
There is, honey. And, the cup will be coming out soon with all our new updates and everything. And, we've got some of our psychics that are going to be doing some wonderful articles for you guys. So if you're not on the mailing list, go over to psychiccoffeeshop.info, and there's a box there, and you just throw in your name and your email address, and we don't sell your information to anyone, so that you can get up-to-the-date information on the show. And some really great articles. Rez has wrote an article for us. Another psychic of ours has wrote a few articles that'll be going in there. So it'll be a really good thing. So until next week, good night all.
Good night all.
Are you at a crossroads in your life? Or are you feeling stuck and not sure where to turn? We can help. Visit our website at psychic.biz from your computer, smartphone, or tablet, where you can get accurate readings and insight by speaking with any one of our tested advisors. We offer live chat, video sessions, one-on-one phone calls, and even email readings. We have several gifted psychics, tarot readers, astrologers, and other healers from around the world who are available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Your initial chat is always free, and our psychics do offer special prices and low per-minute rates. Visit us today at psychic.biz and get the guidance you need today for your tomorrow.
You're listening to the Magic Happens Radio Network, sponsored by the Magic Happens magazine. You'll find us at www.themagichappens.com.